I grew up in the 60s, child of the 60s, Martin Luther King, the Kennedys. I worked with Cesar Chavez in the United Farm Workers Union, and the parallels I see, they were great inspirations to me, not just the individuals, but they were civil rights movements and queer youth, gay rights, lesbian rights, transgender rights. It's the civil rights movement of the 21st century. And unfortunately, this has to be a fight, but if it has to be a fight, we're ready for the fight.
What does it mean to you to be an ally?
Well, for me, I mentioned in an earlier stage of my life, I had the great privilege of working with the United Farm Workers Union on the picket lines, in the courts, in the jails, and I felt I was an ally and was able to use my privilege of education and advocacy in that struggle. And as I said before, I see a lot of parallels with the liberation and full equality in today's equality movement. I draw strength and energy from my relationships with people in leadership positions, people struggling around their own identity and in the struggle for equality.
So as Executive Director of the Diversity Center, we've started queer youth programming about 3 years ago. We started a program called the Queer Youth Scene, and that program offers support for students in the GSAs, and we put on Queer Camp every summer, and we also have a Queer Youth Conference that we put on every year. We also have a program called Triangle Speakers that does panels of gay, lesbians, bisexual, transgender people, and allies in the classroom and businesses and churches around the community, just to make sure that people know who queer people are and that we're just like everybody else. So I remember myself what it was like to be a queer youth back in the 80s, and I had no allies at that point. So I was really on my own. So being able to be something that I never had, being able to provide a space for youth, provide the support that I didn't get is really meaningful.
So you just mentioned how you had no allies as a queer youth. So what inspired you? What leadership inspired you as a youth to do what you do today?
You know, I didn't. I was very closed down when I was a youth, and I didn't get inspired to get involved in this work until about 5-6 years ago. Oh, wow. And it was really all about community. I went from being a very shy kid to being something of a public figure, and it was really all about recognizing the value of community and connection and openness and an opportunity to be yourself without any fear.
I was curious, what kind of work inspired you and what kind of leadership inspired you as a queer youth?
There's been a lot to inspire me. I didn't come out until I was 25. So the inspiration was really the community that was around me. I came out in Santa Cruz. I moved here when I was 21. And just being here, I originally came from outside of Boston. So the East Coast. Not that it's still that way. I think a lot has changed, but in my growing up in the 70s and 80s on the East Coast, it was not a supportive community. And landing in Santa Cruz, I give props to my area. I can't name a single person because there have been so many people who've been inspirational to me here.
How do you hope to support queer youth and queer youth programs in the future?
I am recently elected president of the board of directors for the Diversity Center. First transgender president of their board. I'm
Congratulations.
About that. Thanks. So there's quite a bit in that role that I get to do. We have the Queer Youth Scene, which is part of the Diversity Center programming. I'm also the rep for the Queer Youth Task Force from the Diversity Center. So I get to do a lot of work on behalf of the Diversity Center to support the staff and the programming that work with queer youth to make sure that GSAs get enough support, to make sure that we get to further our community goals for queer youth. We just, as the Queer Youth Task Force, updated those, so that's really great. So at the local level, I get to do a lot. And then in my other hat, because I have a day job, I get to do a lot as well. I'm lucky to work for Assemblymember Bill Monning, who you also interviewed today. I work in his Santa Cruz office, and I staff him on a number of issues: education, social services, housing, healthcare, and civil rights. All of the civil rights legislation that he works on and civil rights issues that come up here locally, we work together.
Why do you think it's so important to be an ally to queer youth, and what does that mean to you exactly?
It's tremendously important. Like I said, didn't come out till I was 25. That's because I did not have allies in any way, shape, or form to help me feel safe enough to be who I was. I knew on the inside since I was 12. But it took me, and as a transgender person, there have been stages of coming out. I came out as queer when I was 25, but I didn't come out fully as transgender to where I was actually sharing it with my community, with my boss, and with my family until a little over a year ago. There are pieces of coming out as trans that have happened over the last several years, but finally and fully coming out, it's taken me a lifetime. And queer youth these days are getting a lot more support to be who they are in a significant way sooner, to get support in both being who they are and dealing with any discrimination they may face.
My wife and I just wanted to get involved in the community, and she's always been very passionate about the LGBT rights. My involvement started with ACLU and Planned Parenthood, and when we got together, we piqued my interest, and so we wanted to get more involved, and that's how we did it. It's fairly recent for us, so it's been fun. We've had a lot of fun getting started with it.
What types of things do you hope to do in the future to maybe get more involved or continue to help?
Well, I'm here specifically this evening recruiting for the Adult Ally Program for the Queer Youth Task Force. So we're trying to create a booster organization, much like you have sports boosters at the high schools, to support the GSAs. So they want to do activities, they want to have parties, they want to go to conferences. We're looking to raise money and get parents and other adults involved for rides and so forth, chaperone, those sorts of things.
What kind of support and leadership that you experienced when you were a youth inspired you to do what you do today?
Ooh, I don't know. I think that I was pretty fortunate, fairly mainstream, very white bread, I suppose fairly privileged upbringing. And my parents are very liberal. My mom's on the board of directors for her local ACLU group. And I just, they've always instilled in me that wanting to give back to the community and become involved and not to stand on the sidelines. Right. So I think that, I take some inspiration from my mom.
Well, when I was a child, there weren't a lot of examples out there. There was nothing on television like young people have today. So it wasn't until I got into college, and there were gay organizations there in college before I actually saw examples or saw role models. So it was hard when I was a kid. It was a lot of struggle.
How do you hope to support queer youth and queer youth programs in the future?
Well, I started the GSA at Harbor High, and that's been going on for quite some time. It's the second one, oldest ones next to Santa Cruz. And then I also am the AB 537 officer for the county and for Santa Cruz City Schools. And I also run the Safe Schools Project, so that protects LGBT kids in the county. I teach, and I'm pretty active in the community, and I try to stay connected to young people. So that's my passion. Well, I think we all need role models when we're growing up, and often queer kids don't have those role models. There are some on television, they're often comical characters. So I think kids need to see teachers in their classroom, they need to see community members that are queer and out and are positive role models for them so that they know that they can also make a contribution to society and to their school and to their families.
We're here with Terry, who's an important ally to queer youth. Terry, can you tell us what types of important things you've done in the queer youth community?
Well, one thing is 14 years ago I founded the Queer Youth Awards that we're at today. And I was a social worker for 15 years. Now I sell real estate in the community. But for 15 years, I worked with doing HIV prevention and care of people with AIDS. And one of our core models and goals was trying to reach youth before they were possibly infected with HIV. So we decided to set up a program in which we could help identify and visualize where were queer youth in the community. Because we met with a lot of people who said, oh, we don't have any queer students at our high school. Right. And we knew that was wrong, and we needed to figure out a way to reach queer youth. The whole model was designed to turn the concept of at-risk youth on its head, so that instead of looking at the risks that youth have, which we all know about, drugs and homelessness and stuff like that. We said, what about the queer youth that are really successful? What if we held them up as role models and we showed them to the community as the best and the brightest? Why don't we try that? So that was the idea of the Queer Youth Awards. Well, as a gay man, I was a queer youth myself. I tried to come out in high school. It didn't really work. I went to Catholic school, and it just didn't really work very well. So I didn't come out till I was in college, but I was 17 when I did come out at Michigan State. And at that time, it was called the Gay Liberation Front. It was still 1973, 75 actually. So it was still young in the kind of gay liberation movement. But I'm an ally because I think everybody deserves a chance to have a healthy, great life.
We're here with Mary, who's the advisor of San Lorenzo Valley High School's GSA. And Mary, what type of things have you accomplished to help support queer youth?
Well, I came in as the advisor this year, and we only had 3 students involved at the beginning, and through the course of the year, we have about 30 students. And I've just always had my classroom open, and we're selling these lovely bracelets, and we have guest speakers all the time. We have music and film days, and so it's just become a really open, welcoming, fun space, and it's become contagious through the course of the year.
What type of support and leadership that you saw in your youth inspired what you have done and what you are doing today?
Well, we have incredible club presidents, Paisley Frost for one, who will do anything for the club, and she has so much energy, and she's an ally, and she's actually nominated here tonight. And she has so much love for the club and the community, and she will do anything to make sure that queer issues are known in the Valley and that it's a bigger issue and support issue here in this community.
Just briefly, can you explain what your bracelet is and how that helped, or what you did at the high school with it?
Sure. It says "I'm an ally," and on the other side it says "Stop Bullying." And we started this, well, actually, I think another middle school began the bracelets, and we started selling them, seeing that bullying, especially with queers on campus, was becoming such a big issue. And so we started selling them at school, and everyone's wearing them. And they all had to sign a pledge card that made them, that they agreed to not only stop bullying, but to also remind their peers around them to stop bullying of all kinds. So it's been a hit.
What inspired you in your youth, leadership-wise, support-wise, to do what you do today?
I think probably the main thing is people who were just a little bit older than me, taking the time to, engage with me, kind of offer advice, but do stuff with me. And it was really, I had some people who were really mentors for me, and they weren't people who were a lot older, they were just a few years older. And we, then as we grew older, we became friends and peers. But I think those are the people who had the biggest impact on me, and I think kind of shared their values in a way that was about caring for people and just really being interested in working with people individually. I think it's important to be an ally because there's not just the queer youth, but there's just groups in the community that are just picked on or pushed aside or disrespected in some kind of way. And then those folks need to see other people who are saying, hey, no, do not do that. We love these people. We care about these people. This is not okay. And so, it's one thing when people who are sort of the targets complain, but then when other people defend those folks, I think that's when change happens.
So we're at the Queer Youth Leadership Awards at SLV High, and here we have a retired San Lorenzo Valley High school teacher. So this is Joan Fry, and we just have a couple questions. Why is it important to be an ally, and what does it mean to you?
Well, after teaching for this many years, I watched what was happening to different students, and I just felt like some students were not being supported. They weren't, they didn't have people standing up for them. And really, I felt like what my role became was to teach all students how to be great allies for each other.
What type of work have you done in the past, or are you doing now to help support queer youth?
Let's see. Originally, I taught health education, and part of that was certainly sex education. And of course, I had a unit about sexual orientation. So I started there, way back 36 years ago. And then it evolved to inviting the Triangle Speakers panel into my classes. And then finally, maybe my last 10 years, what I did was I ran the peer education program, the Diversity Club, National Coalition Building Institute. And what I did there was I trained the high school students to conduct week-long workshops in diversity education.
Wow.
So it was a very cool experience.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Hi, we're here with Cynthia, who is on the board of the Community Foundation of Santa Cruz. And Cynthia, why is it important to be an ally, and what does that mean to you?
I think being an ally means that there's supportive people out in the community who can help gay youth and make it a safe place. Well, I used to be on the board of Triangle Speakers, and so one of the things I'm doing right now with a few ex-Triangle Speakers board members is we're planning a fundraiser for the Diversity Center to help support Triangle. Because right now, with the economic times the way that they are, funding has been cut to nonprofit organizations. The other thing I'm doing is I serve on the Diversity Partnership Advisory Committee, and that's an endowment at the Community Foundation where we have almost $1 million. And each year we give out money to organizations that want to support gay and lesbian support programs, or things like SCAP has been supported in the past, the Diversity Center, Triangle Speakers, even things like the trans program at Planned Parenthood.
What type of work have you done in the past that helps support queer youth?
Well, I've done funding. I've helped the Diversity Center and the Queer Youth Awards, which I think are just great. And mostly funding, yeah.
And what makes it important to you to be an ally?
Well, because I think the terrific kids that like you that I see, and it's a real honor to be your ally. When I was growing up, there were no allies, or there wasn't much aid in that way, and so I think it's just wonderful that kids today are being who they are, and so that was my motivation.
Well, I've been a principal of 6 different schools, and wherever I've worked, there's always a need to have the right atmosphere for learning. So it doesn't matter who the kid is, but whatever I can do. I opened a new high school in Salinas, and we formed a Gay Alliance Club there. It was one of the first in Salinas. And then I inherited a wonderful program at Watsonville High called What's in a Name, and that added a lot to the culture of the school every year. And wherever I can go, whatever I can do, I just got to do it because it's the right thing to do, which isn't that specific an answer to your question.
Thank you.
And what sort of leadership or support inspired you in your youth to do what you do today?
I had wonderful teachers. I had my parents. I still am grateful. They're not both on the planet, but I just had the best teachers who taught me about openness, taught me about people, taught me about caring. And I'm really grateful to them, and I think that they're still with me today.
What type of work have you done in the past that helps support queer youth?
Well, I started out as a teacher, and that was my passion, working with kids and supporting kids in being safe and feeling like they had a voice and had someone that was there for them. So it started out as a teacher and then was an assistant principal for a period of time and a principal, and then eventually worked up to the position that I'm in. So that's kind of my past, my background.
And how do you hope to support queer youth and queer youth events and programs in the future?
I think it's really critical for the district that we're constantly touching base with students, student body, making sure that they have structures in place at the school so that, again, students are empowered, they feel like they have a voice, they have mentors at the school, they have someone that they can go to if things are not going well, and that there's the right systems in place.
Why is it important to be an ally, and what does that mean to you?
It means supporting all kids and every opportunity to be successful and valued, and to find the place where they're connecting to school, and exploring their dreams. And I think it's really important that as educators, that we work to know every kid's heart and mind well and support them with whatever that is that they aspire to do at the next level. You know, it's those teachers that you make connections with. Relationships are so important.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that every student that we work with is connected to adults on their campus who know them well and who value them and support them and inspire them. So that's why I do what I do.
Well, for me, as a student service director at Santa Cruz City Schools, it really means supporting students in all aspects of their life. So it's one thing to go to school and learn, but then there's that whole other piece of being a student. So really, as an ally, to let students know that they're welcome, they're connected, they're important in our school, and they matter. And that it's okay to be whoever you are when you're in school. Well, I think what inspired me is really that the most support I had as a youth were from teachers. And that teachers are so important in students' lives, and I don't think teachers always realize that everything they say really gets taken to heart for the good and the bad. And it's a lot of power as a teacher, and it's really important that we use our power well, and that we really let kids know they're okay, they're supported, and just to always remind them that they're okay, they're going to be okay in the world, and then support them the best we can.
Even by being here tonight, I know that we've supported the Triangle speakers on campuses for many years. I think we were one of the first organizations to do that, even when they were controversial way back when. And I've also been an advocate to ensure that they have equal rights and GLBTs have on each campuses, essentially.
How do you hope to support queer youth programs in the future?
I think by raising the awareness, number one, by ensuring that there's acceptance from the community, because there really isn't full-blown acceptance by everyone around queer youth. So I think by raising the awareness, it could be through workshops, through trainings, really trying to educate the community that we're all people, and we have to be tolerant, and we have to be accepting of one another.
Deb, why is it important to be an ally, and what does it mean to you?
Well, I'll tell you, when I was coming out, I didn't have the kind of support that I would really have loved to have had. And so it makes me really, really happy to see young queer folks who have lots of support and lots of out models. I'm the director of the Cantu Queer Center up at UCSC, and there are a lot of students coming from all around the state and even other states that have not been in high schools that have been supportive. And so we, really want to create a space on campus and then in the community so that students feel like, it's a safe place, they've arrived, they can come out and be their whole beautiful selves. The Cantu Queer Center opened in November of '97. I was the founding director, and we do fabulous programs throughout the year. We do a lot of groups. There are many queer student organizations. For example, we have one called Queer Geeks that all the students are playing board games on Monday nights, and then we have a queer coffee house, and then we have a group called Queers of Color, and we have one called Blender for gender exploring students. And so we give a lot of support to just the range of needs that students have, and we're open to the community too.
Hi, we're here with County Supervisor Mark Stone. And Mark, what does it mean to you to be an ally, and why is that important?
It's important for all of us to stand up for all kids and folks in our community who are struggling. And when we're facing discrimination, which we still do, unfortunately, in many of our schools and parts of our community, it's for all of us to stand up and provide whatever support and protections we can.
And how do you hope to support queer youth and queer youth programs in the future with your work?
Well, this is one of the most important things we can do on a day like today with the Queer Youth Leadership Awards, is to celebrate the successes and some of the amazing kids and families, the things that they have done. But we also always have to be mindful of discrimination wherever we see it and be willing to stand up and say that's wrong.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Okay, who wants to go first?
Would it matter if I made accidents because I tend to
that's fine
be
because
clumsy?
we're gonna be so we're editing this. Can you get a picture with the shoes and don't move that. That's so cute.
I think that we should all fist pump at the end and then have our bracelets on.
Okay.
Should we do you then me or me then you? We'll do something.
Okay.
Go for it.
Yeah, guys, get with the program.
Okay, program, got it.
Okay, well, my name's Tekki Hernandez.
My name's Joaquin Garcia.
My name's Olivia, and I go to Mission Hill Middle School.
My name is Isaac Martinez.
You want me to go or do you want to go?
My name is Elizabeth Habara.
Okay, my name is Sue Graziano.
My name is Bronna Banks.
Hi, I'm Leslie Smith. I teach at Aptos Junior High School.
I'm Isabel Kornberg.
I'm Kate Garrett.
I'm Sandra Renteria.
I'm Evan Weiss.
I'm Cassidy Davison. I'm Beatrice Bloom.
And we're from the Aptos Junior High GSA. Yeah.
No, we're not. Come on, guys.
Let's do that again.
I'm Ben.
I'm Paisley. I'm Haley. I'm Kayla. And we're from San Lorenzo Valley High School GSA.
We can do that. Ready?
Say
1,
what?
2, 3. And we're both from Harbor High.
So I would say
It'd be
like,
really cute, like,
I'm Lucy. I'm in 11th grade. I'm part of the GSA. And you'd say I'm Jeannie. I'm in 11th grade.
or you
part
could
of
say
the
you're
GSA.
the president. And then I'll say I'm also the president. And then we could say, and we're both from Harbor High.
Okay. And we're from Harbor High School. Could we redo that?
Welcome to the 2011 Queer Youth Leadership Awards. We are in our 14th year, celebrating for the first time at San Lorenzo Valley High School. To have a venue and an opportunity to celebrate our youth, to let them know that we stand behind them, to let them know that we see them and that we appreciate everything they're doing at any age, is not only a blessing for them, but it's one for us as well. So on behalf of the Queer Youth Leadership Awards and myself, I'd just like to welcome you to tonight's show, give you an opportunity to see some of the young folks we're getting ready to celebrate and their allies that are supporting them. I hope that you enjoy it, that you take it to heart, and then more than just watching the show, that it does something for you and that it shows you how many brilliant and beautiful young people there are in our community, regardless of sexual orientation, regardless of race or creed or class. That they're just a lot of young folks who are just doing the best they can. They're people that are being people, and they're doing a really good job at it.
We're just gonna say people are people, or?
No, we're gonna entire verse.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
People are people. So we don't know how to say
it's okay.
people.
People are people.
People are people. People are people. Always will be.
I think we
should do it in slow motion, like people are people.
No.
People are people.
People are people because we are people. People are people. People are people.
People are people.
People are people. People are people. We're so weird. All right.
People are people.
People are people.
People are people.
Practicing?
Yeah.
No, let's go for it. People are people regardless of skin. People are people regardless of creed. People are people regardless of gender. People are people regardless of anything. Say it loud and say it proud. 1, 2, 3.
People are people!
And I will be your MC tonight. I want to thank you all very much for joining us, and I hope you're enjoying your dinner that was provided by Village Caterers. And your desserts at the table that you're eating now by Val Van Lan. You might all have noticed while you're eating and talking to different people that this event brings a lot of different people from all over the county here. The Queer Youth Leadership Awards brings us together, public officials, community members, families, students, seniors, faith groups, and local businesses, and many more to honor the queer youth and their allies in our communities. This isn't just about seeing who's on stage tonight, it's about all of us. It honors each and one of us, regardless of how we identify, because it means we all have come together, and in doing so, we've become much stronger. they aren't kidding when they say there's a lot of people here, so, you know, okay. This event is produced by the Queer Youth Task Force and is affiliate of the Diversity Center, and it's made possible by the support of the co-sponsors and supporters, including Community TV of Santa Cruz County, who's here tonight filming, and later on you'll see some of the videos that they produce. So can we bring up the lights so we can see all your pretty faces? So we can get some filming going? Yeah! Tonight we will honor and celebrate our youth leaders and allies and organizations that have worked very hard this year to end bullying, intolerance, and discrimination in all of their forms. The Queer Youth Leadership Awards is a time for our community to change the ways that queer youth are seen as by the communities and by themselves. The youth you will see tonight and recognize are the role models of their peers, and because they have become over difficult personal and social circumstances that create lasting change, as you can see today. We are also proud to honor individuals and organization allies who support their work. Tonight's theme, Our People Are People. We are here to recognize, while we all share similarities, we also are very unique, as you can see by the many different faces. We are also, excuse me. Tonight, let's focus on the fact that we do have similarities, but also we are all people. We have our likes and our dislikes, our identities, our families, our histories, and our cultures, and we want to celebrate each and unique blend tonight. As a student here at San Lorenzo Valley High School, I want to welcome you all here to this school, and it is the first time in QYLA history that it is here. I want to say a special thank you to all the staff and administration here at San Lorenzo Valley High School for helping us create this event and sponsoring the show. It demonstrates that the school's commitment to lives of young lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, intersex, queer, and questioning students to help create a safer and more accepting environment for all students to be themselves. Along with the support of many schools, it is also important to have the support of many elected officials. I want to recognize one and welcome him to the stage, Supervisor Mark Stone, who is currently the chairperson of the Santa Cruz County Board of Supervisors and representative of the 5th District, which includes San Lorenzo Valley. Supervisor Mark Stone is a longtime supporter of QYLA and a strong ally to the queer youth. We are very grateful for his support and his work on behalf of the queer youth and allies.
Thank you, Paisley, so much. It's great to see you up there. I'm going to embarrass her just a minute. I've watched Paisley grow up over the last number of years into a real leader in the San Lorenzo Valley. And it's my job to welcome you to the San Lorenzo Valley and San Lorenzo Valley High School. This event is being put on in conjunction with the San Lorenzo Valley High School's Gay Straight Alliance and the Queer Youth Leadership Award. So I want to thank them so much for putting this on today. For those of you who've been fortunate enough to come to events like this, these award events, you know what you're in for. For those of you for whom it's your first time, you're in for a real treat. For all of us in politics, in leadership, we know that our communities are about our stories. And you're going to hear the stories tonight. Stories of our kids, of triumph, of some struggles, because yes, we are still struggling in our communities with hatred and with discrimination. And yet on days like today, we get to celebrate the advances that get made and celebrate our next generation and their allies among the adults who are here and their straight friends who are supporting them and letting them know that in their struggles, they're not alone. We get to show them how when we were younger and struggled with discrimination in our communities, how we handled things. We need to be mentors to this next generation because they truly are going to run our world in not too very distant future. So I'd like to welcome you here today. I'm very, very proud to be able to represent the San Lorenzo Valley on the Board of Supervisors, because I get to see and work with on a day-to-day basis the amazing people who are here. And this valley and this school have worked long and hard to weed out discrimination and to identify it where it exists. And I'm very proud of the students on this campus who are willing to stand up and say it is not acceptable to have discrimination, to see hate on our campus and in our community. And it makes me proud, and it should make all of you proud, all the adults and all the allies proud of those kids who are brave enough and willing to stand up for themselves and for their friends and for their community. This is truly a great place, and if you look around at every table, there's a civic leader, there are religious leaders, there are many electeds here tonight. That is how important this is. I've gotten to know some of the folks in Santa Clara County on the BAMAC board, and they always talk about the old days, back in the 70s when BAMAC was founded, and they struggled to bring any electeds to any of their events because they were afraid to come and what that meant. Well, coming to the Queer Youth Leadership Awards should be required of everyone, electeds, community leaders across our communities. Because it's important for everyone, all of our leaders, to see and get to know these kids and what they're doing, and it makes it so much easier for all of us to see our responsibility to support them. So welcome, enjoy the night. It's truly going to be an amazing evening, and this I've never seen this gym quite so festive and great. What an amazing job that the GSA here has put on in Queer Youth Leadership Awards. I'm looking forward to a tremendous evening. Enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Mark Stone. We appreciate the time that you showed your support of the LGBTQ youth and for joining us tonight, so thank you very much. Another round of applause. So if you're in this room, you're probably familiar with Queer Youth Leadership Awards, but for those of you who are new, I'd like to tell you a little bit something about QYLA and its purpose and the awards themselves. The mission of Queer Youth Leadership Awards is to improve the lives of queer youth by increasing positive awareness of queer youth leadership and increasing a safe and welcoming environment in homes, schools, like here, and communities. The three awards come in three categories: the Queer Youth Leadership Award, the Ally to Queer Youth Leadership Award, and the Organizational Ally to Queer Youth Leadership Award. Tonight, there are 4 awardees from 3 high schools and 1 middle school from Santa Cruz County. The awardees have been selected through a county-wide nomination process and by a panel of judges who are promoted members of the community. The 4 awardees will receive a $250 check and the following tradition of giving back to the community by giving each awardee $500 for a nonprofit of their choice. So let's now introduce these nominees. This year we have 7 outstanding nominees for the Queer Youth Leadership Award from 5 high schools and 1 middle school across the county. The young people I would like to introduce to you have had a tremendous impact on their campuses and have shown outstanding leadership and excellence for all their peers. The first nominee is Olivia Danthan. Olivia is a Mission Hill Middle School student. Is a Mission Hill Middle School student and has made a tremendous impact on her school culture. This year, Olivia was an instrumental force on getting her school to have the Safe Empowerment Extraordinary Youth Conference and hosted by her school. Even as a Bayview Elementary School student, Olivia has been active and willing to speak up against intolerance of any kind. And as the youngest nominee, Olivia sets the bar very high. The second nominee is Vicky Osvaldo. As a student at Pajaro Valley High School, Vicky has worked hard in her Gay Straight Alliance to create a lasting change at her school, helping to begin an anti-bullying petition sign, fundraisers, and even getting others involved. Vicky has made the GSA of Pajaro Valley High School a successful, thriving, and a safe place for all. The third nominee is Joaquin Garcia. Joaquin is currently a junior at Pacific Collegiate School and is a student representative at the PCS diversity community. Joaquin has stepped in to take on the cultural diversity and education on his campus, and meanwhile maintaining a 4.28 GPA and having completed 1,500 hours of community service. His commitment is not only for LGBTQ equality, but also the visibility and empowerment of all people, and testimony to Joaquin's leadership and success. The fourth nominee is Ben Landauer. A fellow San Lorenzo Valley High School student and my best friend, Ben is an outstanding athlete, accomplished musician, and dedicated member of our GSA here. Ben has made a significant impact on our school and is willing to break any and all stereotypes simply by being himself. Our fifth and sixth nominees were nominated together. Is Jeannie Baldzwalski and Lucy Walters. This powerhouse duo has taken Harbor High Gay Straight Alliance and helped breathe new life into a once very active club. By stepping in and interrupting bullying and hate speech, the two have touched the lives of many of their fellow students, as well as helped educate the staff and faculty on how to be better allies at Harbor's LGBTQ students. Our seventh nominee is Cookie Hernandez. Cookie is a familiar face to many in the community, as we just noticed, and it was recently one of the MCs at Safe Empowerment Extraordinary Youth Conference. Cookie has made a tremendous impact with friends and family, and is always willing to be himself and speak the truth wherever he goes. Congratulations to all of our nominees. And thank you very much for all of your hard work. We know this isn't just about the youth. This isn't just about youth. We are proud to honor these youth of 2012 Queer Youth Leadership Award. So let's give them another round of applause. All right. So I'm proud to now announce the first award of the 14th Queer Youth Leadership Awards. Our first awardee is Joaquin Garcia. Joaquin is a junior at Pacific Collegiate High School and has taken his campus by storm. His willingness to be such a strong leader in his community, as well as the campus, serves a great model for all of his peers who have a strong, self-assured leader, and have inspired them to continuously succeed and change not his campus culture, but also widely influence his broader community. Let's watch his video, guys.
So my name is Joaquin Garcia. I'm a junior at Pacific Collegiate School. I just turned 17 on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. At our school, we have diversity issues. So I'm on the diversity committee. 9th grade, I collaborate with some students and administrator to found a club called Raíces, which in Spanish means roots, but it's an acronym for Roots of All International Cultures Embodied in Solidarity. I mean, a small part of it, wasn't a large part of it, was language discussion, culture discussion. We actually had a culture board. I went to Latin America, I went to Oaxaca, and it was through an organization that I found out about through my school. We were in a rural town called Tierra Colorada in southern Mexico. It was very, very poor. We built, we built stoves, and we did campamentos, which was like summer camps for the local kids. I mean, the school and my work with diversity has definitely revolved a lot around ethnic, racial diversity, class diversity, but sexual identity hasn't been high on our list. I mean, mostly because you can't select for it. I came out in 3rd grade, to my parents, but of course they're lesbians, so it wasn't that big of a deal. If a person wants to come out, it should be based on, 1, they feel safe, 2, they feel ready, and I would say those are the main parts of it. But for adults, just letting the youth know that you're there for them, because even though teachers, administrators always say, we're here for you, there's definitely a disconnect between the adults and the students. It's just a matter of going the extra mile and, for example, asking a student how their day is, and if they say, not okay, you talk to them more about it. I would say to students who are questioning or are having difficulty that, 1, it gets better, and 2, to stay true to yourself. The title, People Are People, was that it? People Are People, resonates really well with the whole diversity aspect of my activism. That's all-encompassing. That's awesome. Just be yourself. That's the advice most people give, but I think it rings most true, and I think it's the best advice anyone could give. So, people are people.
Hello everyone, my name is Joaquin Garcia. I'm currently a junior at PCS on Westcliff. I just want to start off by saying what an honor it is to be recognized with this award, and also to thank Ms. Bolton, my student government advisor, for nominating me. I also want to thank my loving family and friends for supporting me throughout my 17 years. I can definitely say I've had some really special people in my life. Thank you guys. I love you all. So, having come out to both myself and my parents in 3rd grade, my voice has always been heard, and I've rarely been afraid to say my opinions. Having said that, though, not all LGBTIQ youth, as we all know, are so lucky. Each individual youth faces their own hardships, but as a whole, bullying and other forms of harassment are of epidemic proportions among many, if not all, of our nation's schools. Yet tonight, instead of focusing on LGBTIQ youth as a whole, I'd like to focus on perhaps the most voiceless subset of this population, LGBTIQ youth living in poverty. It's no secret that we live in a stratified society. From the glitzy high-rises of San Francisco to the homeless of Santa Cruz, social disparity glares at us all. Impoverished segments of our populace find themselves stuck in self-perpetuating cycles of destitution, and with little access to quality education and health services, getting out of this cycle can be nearly impossible. Fiscal disparity is higher in the US than other comparable industrialized nations, and our government is a plutocracy, meaning that it is run by a wealthy elite that hence caters to their desires. The poor and minorities are often excluded, and hence lose their chance to improve their lot thanks to institutionalized bigotry and unchecked greed on the part of both public and private officials. Isabel Sawhill of the Brookings Institution summed it up well when she said that if the rungs of the societal ladder are far apart, it becomes more difficult to climb the ladder. Needless to say, among poverty-stricken LGBTIQ youth, a sense of hopelessness stemming from social repression and economic want abounds. They're told they're ugly, stupid, that their lives are worthless. Many youth begin to feel that these insults are true. They become self-hating, as I did, perhaps self-mutilating. Some will take their lives. And for what? For lack of intervention. Youth suicide is unfortunate both for its inherent human loss and because we have the power to intervene. We have the power to save and improve lives. Not only that, but in the process, and if done correctly, we may foment sustainable change on a communal, statewide, national, and perhaps international scale. If we support youth empowerment, we support and shape future leaders. Leaders who can relate to the common people. Leaders who know the sting of poverty. Leaders who are able to bring their diverse outlooks to the table. And to those who say that perhaps I'm overly idealistic, that perhaps my gilded ideals aren't useful, that they're untenable, I say this. In an increasingly globalized and competitive world, we as a community, as a nation, need strong leaders who are able to utilize their manifold life experiences in making practical changes to a broken system that purports to represent all, when in fact it represents only a few. We need more LGBTIQ leaders. We need more leaders of color. We need more women leaders. That is why I have chosen the local nonprofit Strange, an organization committed to supporting and empowering lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, transsexual, intersex, queer, and questioning youth as my charity recipient. The money will be spent in helping local, low-income, LGBTIQQ middle and high school students attend leadership trainings and summits both in the Greater Bay Area and beyond. Yet, as those of you who follow politics are very aware of, change is oftentimes elusive. I have faith, though, that through grassroots activism, change can and will happen. We just have to be patient and persistent. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you very much. Now I get to announce the second Queer Youth Leadership Awardee. A Mission Hills Middle School student, Olivia Danthan, is an outspoken and active, young, continuously changing and challenging her fellow students to think about one another differently and always willing to interrupt bullying and hate speech. For several years, she has volunteered in Pride Santa Cruz and previously in QYLA events. She was the 2009 president of the Torch Club at Santa Cruz Boys and Girls Club, and she used her leadership and outspokenness to help bring awareness to homophobia and bullying to the club. Let's watch Olivia's video.
My name's Olivia, and I go to Mission Hill Middle School, and I was born in 1998, and I am part of a GSA. I love to sing, and I love to take my dogs on a walk and go on bike rides. My support comes from my mom mostly, because she accepts me for who I am. I define leadership as just sticking up for people and being there for them and just doing whatever you think is right. I think one of the biggest challenges that face queer youth is bullying, because a lot of people feel like it's okay to bully, which I don't think it is. Yeah, I've witnessed a lot of bullying, and it's really hard, and I normally stop it because like I said, it's not really okay to do that to people. I stop it by not facing it by myself. I go to a teacher or say the principal. Organizing the Safe Empowered Youth Conference was important to me because I just love like being at the GSA and helping them and stuff, and it makes me like feel comfortable and happy there. I also like it because like most of my friends like support me in it and stuff. Queer Youth can teach older people not new things, but just how things are changing and like how many people support them. And the theme this year relates to people who are nominated for it or won an award. I think that they won it for like just being them and just not like listening to what other people say about them, just being you, for just like being out there and being themselves and just letting it loose. Well, I just want to say like that if there's people out there who like don't want to like tell anybody, I think that they should, because I think it's great that you are who you are and you shouldn't like let people judge you for just being who you are. People are people!
Please welcome Olivia to the stage.
Okay. I never thought I'd be the one giving the speech. I have to say that when I found out I got nominated, I almost screamed to death. Then I had this crazy dream that I got a call from this really cool person named Lex. And she said that I didn't win. I'm so glad it was just a dream, and I'm standing here tonight as a 2011 Queer Youth Awardee. When you are 12, there's so much of the world that seems out of reach. So many things that you're trying to figure out. Sometimes just getting through the day feels impossible. But when I volunteered at the community Thanksgiving meal or the Queer Youth Conference, I realized that there are people just like me, just trying to get through the day, just trying to be true to themselves, and just trying to make the world a better place. Okay. Being involved and helping makes me feel good inside. The reason I stand up to bullying is because I try to picture the person who's getting bullied as me. And I would definitely want somebody to stand up for me too. It took me a long time to feel confident in myself, but if, oh my God. Okay. I'm just gonna start over on that part. Okay. It took me a long time to feel confident in myself, but if just being me or what I can do to help other kids or even grown-ups be who they are and never let anyone tell them they can't, that is a real award. In words of Justin Bieber, we are all born to be somebody. I would like to thank everybody who came here tonight to support me, and everyone who worked for QYLA, and everyone who worked to make QYLA happen, especially Lex. Finally, I really want to thank my mom the most because she has always been there for me and loves me the true me, just Olivia.
So, are you all ready for our first performance? Please help me welcome our very own SLV GSA. Our GSA has been working hard this year to create a safe and affirming place, not only for LGBTQ students, but for the entire campus, letting all of our students know that however they come is just right. Please help me welcome my GSA on stage as they share a song called People. And feel free to sing along. Your lyrics are all on the table, so you gotta sing. Come on. No excuses.
Big ass chorus. All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
love you guys. Thank you to SLV's GSA. Now it is time to announce our third awardee of the night, Cookie Hernandez. Cookie is a familiar face to many in our community, as once again you can see. Consistently showing up and supporting his peers and local LGBTQ community, Cookie has shown he is never afraid to get involved. This year, Cookie has a distinct honor of being one of the MCs of Safe Empowerment Extraordinary Youth Conference, held at Mission Hill Middle School. A friend to many and always the enthusiastic soul, Cookie is a stellar example of how to be an effective advocate for queer youth, never one to miss an opportunity to engage in conversation or to educate. Let us watch Cookie's video.
My name is Cookie Hernandez. I'm 17. I go to Oasis. It's an independent studies program. and I'm in Strange, which is a queer youth ally group, which I am proud to be in and really excited to be in. Some of the things I love to do are the basics: hang out with friends, go on random adventures, meet new people, and be myself and be out there as much as possible. My favorite part of being part of Strange, it would be doing events for queer youth and making fun times and getting to know new people. Well, I helped with the Safe Empowerment Extraordinary Youth Conference this year with a friend of mine, Vicky. It was pretty great. I felt great. I felt like a leader. I define leadership by making events and being there for people who seem scared and seem to be felt alone, to motivate, so I could be a motivation for other people, and especially youth. If I had a friend that was being bullied for who they are, I would be there with them, be a support to them, tell them that you will be facing all these negative stuff that people will throw at you, and that you really don't have to like take it so hard, because they're not your family. They're just people who have thoughts, and they're not going to change you. You are who you are. I think the theme "People Are People" has to do with just that we're all humankind and we all deserve equality and the rights to do what we want and love who we love, and just love that theme.
People are people.
Please welcome Cookie to the stage.
Hi. It's on? Okay. Hi, thank you. Oh, okay. Hi. This is too short. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Seriously, thank you very, very much. It's like an honor, sincerely an honor to be up here receiving this award. And it just feels great to be acknowledged and for like awareness and the movement of GLBTIQ in the community, especially within the youth community. It's it's simply amazing how us as GLBT in general have come so far. I mean, really, I'm only like 17, right? But I've done my research and back then, and I've learned some interesting stuff, and it just makes me so proud to be of such a strong community. And I just wish I could give you guys all awards for just being out there and like being yourself, spreading awareness. And I sincerely think, I just feel that I will continue to do my best in spreading awareness and the movement of GLBTIQs in the community. I mean, we're all human beings, right? I mean, we're not harming anybody by being who we are, and we're just simply human beings who like want to learn, want to love, want to be loved, want to get married, want to probably get a family, start a family someday. And most of all, we want equality. And I just sincerely want to thank you all so much. All those who nominated me, all those you guys for being here, all you beautiful people, and my friends and people who are in my life who got me to be where I am at right now. Sincerely, millions and millions of thank yous.
lot taller than I am. Could we turn up the lights again so we can see all you guys? Because, I mean, we're talking about all these people, but I want to see you guys too. So smile at the cameras and make beautiful faces, because there are lots of beautiful faces. So now it is time to announce our fourth and final Queer Youth awardee. Ben Landauer, my best friend. Ben is one of our own San Lorenzo Valley High School Cougars and an avid athlete and a friend to many. Ben has been an active member of the GSA and has been an incredible asset and impact on our campus simply just by being himself. Because he moves so easily through so many different groups on our campus, Ben has shattered many of people's stereotypes and misconceptions. His general nature, playful style, charismatic personality, and unending willingness to get involved where it's needed makes Ben a true force of positive change. Let's watch this video.
My name is Ben Landauer, and I'm a junior at San Lorenzo Valley High School, and I'm involved in the Gay Straight Alliance, and I'm in theater as well. I love the outdoors. I love backpacking. I go with my uncle a lot. The dream campus would be backpacking in Yosemite, and we would just learn about the plants. I really love wrestling. It's one of the greatest sports ever. I don't know. I was a little iffy about going out for it my freshman year, but my brother called me and he was like, "I heard you're gonna do wrestling. You should do it." And I'm like, "Okay." And now I love it so much, and I did really great at sectionals recently, and I'm looking forward to going to state next year. Well, being part of the GSA makes me feel better about being at school because, well, we have meetings on Mondays, and it just makes Mondays that much better. It's a really great place to just go and be yourself. And I mean, we try to do work a lot of the times, but sometimes it just devolves into goofing off and having a good time. It's just really fun to be with all your friends and see them in a context that's not only just being with them, but trying to make the place that you have to be a little better for everybody else. The biggest challenge that queer youth face is going at it alone. It's tough to do that sort of thing alone, and especially with the Gay Straight Alliance, there's a place you can go for it. And I mean, the bullying factor is it's pretty bad sometimes, but it's not as bad when you have people with you. I don't know, I've almost become desensitized to it with how much people throw it around at school. And I mean, I really try to stop it sometimes, but it's not good. It doesn't make me feel very good. As adults, you can just let people know that you're there to talk. That's one of the biggest things I find I need to do sometimes. Just have somebody to talk to. After having the QYLA awards at SLV, I really hope that a lot of people that have been sort of closed-minded about LGBT issues will be more open about it and accepting to people. Queer Youth Leadership Awards and the theme, People Are People, it almost has to say that it doesn't even matter if you're LGBT. It's almost as if the line shouldn't be drawn. It's just people are people. People are people!
Please help me welcome my bro to the stage.
There's a lot of people out there. Wow. I guess it hasn't really hit me how big this event and this award is until now. All cliches derive their endurance from some small amount of truth, and I think this one bears repeating. High school is hard. High school is really, really a difficult time in anybody's life. And there's a million things just distracting and confusing you while you just try to make it through the day without losing sight of your own goals or losing your own sanity. Coming out can be a really long process. It can be really short. It can be really painful. It can be uplifting, heartbreaking, and it can be non-existent. And it's when it's non-existent that people need you the most. If I have one message for all of you tonight, it's care. Just care. Care about the people that kind of feel unloved. In 1979, Mother Teresa received the Nobel Peace Prize. She was asked, what can we do to promote world peace? And do you know what she said? She said something so simple, yet so effective, that will always, always endure with me and with anybody who cares about what she says, I guess. She said, go home and love your family. That's how you can promote world peace. And I think that's kind of obvious how that can apply in the LGBT community. Just, you don't have to go out and do great, huge, groundbreaking, earth-shattering things. Just love the people in your community. Love is really all you need. I'm accepting this award on behalf of every LGBT sort of kid that made it through high school alive. Really, listen to them, even when they don't want to talk. Listen and love. Thank you.
Thank you. Let us have another round of applause for 2011's Queer Youth nominees and awardees. We have so many amazing youth in our community, and I hope this has inspired you to think positively about some of the people that you work with and interact with. Now, I would like to introduce you to this year's Queer Youth Leadership Awards coordinator, Lex. Lex was 2009 Ally Queer Youth Awardee and has served as 2010 and 2011 Queer Youth Leadership Awards coordinator. Please join us in welcoming Lex to the stage.
I just first want to begin by saying thank you. And not just thank you for showing up in the room, although I'm thankful that you showed up in the room. But genuinely, just to say thank you for showing up in heart, mind, body, and spirit for these young people. I know, I trust that you can see how brilliant these young folks are. I want to just take a moment to invite all of the Ally nominees to just please come around as we move towards the time of honoring you. I want to begin by saying thank you to a number of people that have helped to coordinate. As you can see, this is a very large production. And it's very exciting, and it takes a lot of work. So I just want to say thank you to a number of individuals, specifically those who have been able to deal with me, specifically. Marissa Adams, Alyssa, Stuart Rosenstein, Charlie, and Bonnie, who are in the back. Yeah, please. Of course, San Lorenzo Valley High School. And then some of our sponsors that were named earlier, Village Caterers, Community Television, Rebecca Stark Photography, and the list is very long, trust me. If you look in your program, there's a lot of brilliant businesses and names in there, and we want to thank them all, sincerely, from the bottom of our hearts. So I'm here to speak to you from my heart, which is what I'm best at. I'm not good at notes, I'm not good at writing speeches, but I am good at speaking from my heart. And I'm here to talk to you this evening about the folks that you're not going to see. about the ones that didn't make it to this stage. I'm here to speak to you about those not present in this room, not present in their families, not present in their schools anymore, those unsung heroes. Both those that have taken their own lives or those who have been harmed in the pursuit of their authenticity, and those who are not quite ready to step out yet. We want to take a moment to hold space for all of those beautiful, courageous individuals. What I know is that for every voice that we do hear, there are hundreds that we don't. So I'm going to ask you tonight just to have the courage to listen between the cracks, just to have the courage to listen for the silence, and just see who it is that you can listen to more deeply. And it might just be your kids. It might just be your mom. It might just be your immediate family. Or it might be some of the students in the hallway, maybe some of your friends. I'm just inviting you. I'm inviting you to listen to each other. I'm inviting you to take somebody to heart, not just say, hey, how you doing, and let them pass, but just to say, hey, how are you doing? And really take the time to do that sincerely. Outside of the context of LGBTIQA and any number of other letters we may have picked up along the way, this theme makes sense. People are people. And especially in times like this, with the political climate where it is, with the economic climate where it is, we're all just doing the best we can. And I know we've all seen that. We've all seen that very poignant flyer, I trust, that says gay agenda, and then it says, you know, like making dinner and, you know, paying the bills. And that's real. It's not on, maybe on most of our everyday mind of fighting for equality per se, of pushing forward on the movement, but it is on our daily minds to live the healthiest, happiest, most valued and valuable lives that we possibly can. And that, if there's anything that we want to put forth as the gay agenda, let it be authenticity. Let it be happiness, let it be health, let it be wholeness, and let it be courage, because we know that intimately. So I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Trust me, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being here and for celebrating with us. I know you could have been with James Durbin, but you're not. So we just want to take a moment just to say thank you. I already apologized publicly to James Durbin for possibly cursing him because of our event. I am so sorry. And I'm glad he's here. So just want to give you just a shout out in the moment for the seniors that are in the room, that have showed up, that have paved the way, that have seriously taken such courageous steps in allowing us to get to this place. And I hope you understand that the theme "People of People" is not to scare you, like all of the queer identities are going to disappear, but it's a recognition that there's something more, that we don't just have to live within the containers, we don't just have to live within these boxes, but that you've made us so free that we now get to live these really big lives, and that's a blessing. So thank you very much. And the other piece that I hope that you take with you is not to commodify our youth. And when I say that, what I mean is not to look at them like they're your future leaders, to look at them as though they are your right now teachers, that there is a way in which we can be humbled and see the example that they're living right now, that we're not just investing in their future, but we're watching them right now change our lives. And I invite you to join me in that humility, to understand that they are indeed courageous leaders today. And in saying that, then I want to just tell you why SLV. Why it was so important for us this year in our 14th year to come here to San Lorenzo Valley High School. As many of you may know, that historically, this has been a place where some of us may not have found outrageous amounts of acceptance. But that's why we're here. We're here for two reasons. One, to be visible in this space, and two, to remind ourselves that we're safe wherever we go, and that there's space for us. And so this is a beautiful partnership in showing up in a place that's often overlooked in our community. And I want to just like big up to SLV GSA. Do you all know how many people are in their GSA? They don't even know. That's how many people are in their GSA. It's one of the most vibrant and largest GSAs in our area, and I want to commend them like a lot. And so in saying that, I'm going to invite back to the stage the San Lorenzo Valley High School Gay Straight Alliance president and tonight's MC, Paisley, to, with me, announce this year's Ally to Queer Youth nominees.
Thank you. I love you. Now we have the pleasure of introducing the 10 individuals of nominees of the 2011 Ally Queer Youth Leadership Award. There are a lot of them, so can you guys please hold your applauses till the end so we can clap collectively, please?
Isaac Martinez. As a student at Lakeview Middle School, Isaac has begun to make his mark on the campus by pushing to be inclusive for all students. As an ally, Isaac has been a phenomenal advocate for his peers, stepping up to become the vice president of his group and taking the lead on many of the group's activities and meetings. Isaac Martinez is an excellent example of an ally and is becoming a role model for his peers as he consistently stands up for what he believes in, regardless of what others may say. We're working it out. Come on up, Isaac.
Next, we have Leslie Smith. No stranger in our community, Leslie Smith has been a tireless ally and advocate for youth in her home campus at Aptos Junior High School. As a faculty advisor of the school's Gay Straight Alliance, Leslie has been a consistent beacon of safety and stability for many of our students who are coming into their identities as gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, questioning, and queer and questioning.
Our next nominee you may have seen before. Haley Paisley Frost. As the president, Paisley has made a significant impact on the lives of all the students on her campus, not to mention the members of the school's thriving GSA. Under Paisley's patient watch, the GSA has grown in numbers from a handful of students to well over 20, a phenomenal achievement on even the most progressive campuses.
Thank you. Next, we have Kate Garrett. As co-president of Aptos Junior High School Gay Straight Alliance, Kate has been a relentless advocate for the queer youth. At the helm of a vibrant GSA, Kate has initiated several anti-bullying campaigns on campus-wide, as well as influencing and challenging others and other schools and districts to take pledge to end bullying like ours.
Jennifer Hastings. As a local health practitioner for Planned Parenthood Marmonte on the west side of Santa Cruz, Jennifer Hastings has had a tremendous impact on the health and well-being of the transgendered and queer-identified youth. As a physician and tireless advocate, Jennifer has made a significant impact on the medical practitioners that serve the youth, as well as the youth themselves, who often find themselves relieved from the burden of having to educate their doctors.
She's not here, but we should clap. Molly Stewart, as president of the Pacific, As the president of Pacific Collegiate School Gay Straight Alliance, Molly has dedicated much of her time and energy in making her campus more inclusive. Recently, Molly has organized LGBTQ awareness assembly for the entire student body, bringing a bold spotlight for the needs of all students. Volunteering all of her energy to multiple organizations and events, Molly shows up in time and time again.
Liz Habara. Liz is the founder and president of the Cabrillo College Gay Straight Alliance, known as Leading Out, working diligently to promote healthy visibility for queer-identified students on the college's campus. In promoting the health and safety for university-level students, Liz understands that providing support for queer youth is essential in supporting youth making their way to college-level studies.
Murray Scheckman. As Assistant Superintendent of Pajaro Valley's Unified School District and former principal of Watsonville High School, Murray has a tremendous influence not only in the youth of the district that the district serves, but for the very teachers, faculty, and staff that work directly with these students. Murray helps to implement policy change and safe school project procedures, as well as providing training for all of the administrators that help strengthen their ability to recognize and provide the needs of LGBTQ students.
Brana Banks. As a counselor for students at Harbor High School, Brana Banks has developed many loving and personal relationships with the students that she serves. Of the many students at the school, Brana has displayed her personal dedication to the safety and support of the LGBT students at the school. Prominently displayed in her office is a safe space poster, allowing all students to see that she is in support of their well-being and making a statement to all who enter that intolerance will not be accepted.
And now we have Sandy Vera. Never at a loss for ideas and enthusiasm, Sandy brings her creative spirit to Pajaro Valley High School's GSA as an ally and fierce advocate for LGBTQ students on her campus. One of her greatest contributions is her willingness to interrupt homophobia and transphobic speech on the campus. Always willing to speak up, Sandy doesn't let the opportunity go to educate people on her campus and demonstrates the courage and consistency to make an impact on her fellow students.
Congratulations and thank you to all the nominees for this year. Your support of queer youth is inspirational, and our community is stronger because of you.
Thank you.
Let's just give him another round of applause. Now it is time to announce the first Ally to Queer Youth Award. No stranger to QYLA, Leslie Smith has demonstrated year after year her commitment to the students and time and time again. The faculty advisor of Aptos Junior High School's GSA, Leslie creates a safe space for all of her students and encourages them to grow and develop as young leaders on their campus. Let's watch her video.
Hi, I'm Leslie Smith. I teach at Aptos Junior High School, 175 adolescents, and I'm the staff coordinator for the GSA. I love teaching. I've been teaching since 1984, and I intend to do it until I'm old. I was approached by a student about 4 or 5 years ago who wanted to start a GSA on campus and said she thought it would be important to have something like that. I jumped right in. So we've had one since then. I think that having a GSA on campus helps both closeted students who are perhaps not even yet out to themselves, as well as students who might want to step up to be allies, because they see this whole topic being normalized, that it's part of the school's culture, that in the same breath we will talk about the surf club, the chess club, the underwater robotic vehicles club, and the GSA. I think the biggest challenge for queer youth today is it's so multi-layered, because I think there's queer youth are starting to come out younger and feel more self-acceptance younger, and yet there's still conformity in our society, and there's still so many pockets in our world where it's not okay to be queer. What I would say to the allies who support queer youth but are not necessarily active is that there are a million ways to be an ally, that people don't need to necessarily be out on the front lines running organizations, but that allies in every single action they do can be supportive. All of us are part of a community, a world community, and I think developing an attitude where we look and say, how can I be of service, how can I help, we actually get way much more back than we give when we do that. I love the theme, people are people, because people are people. You know, I'm so much more than a queer activist. I'm a mom, I'm a partner, I'm a gardener, I'm a cyclist, I'm a teacher, big time. And when I think of all the people I know, they likewise are just their sexuality is really essential to who they are, but they're much more than that. And we're all connected in those much more ways. People are people.
Please help me welcome Leslie to the stage to accept this award.
Well, good evening. If you had told me 26 years ago that my assistant superintendent and I would be on this stage together, I wouldn't have believed it. So it's quite a thrill to see Marie Scheckman up here with me tonight, as well as one of my students. I'm an English teacher, so I want to tell you where the word ally comes from. It's from Latin, and it means, in Latin it's alligare, which means to bind. And it's interesting to me that ally is both a verb, we ally ourselves with people, and it's a noun. And so I like to think of it that that's part of my identity, but it's also part of our actions, and everyone in this room fits that as well. As I mentioned in the video, I've been teaching English since 1984, and I also came out that year. So I was 24, I was teaching students who were only 6 years younger than I was. And so I was a queer youth as well. Back in those days when I would see students at events, we would pretend not to see each other, and we would go back to Aptos High School and pretend that we'd never seen each other over the weekend. So that's what it was like back then. By 1995, I'd been asked to go on dates with so many of my students' uncles and cousins that finally at Alianza School I decided to come out. And I wanted to show you all, because I'm a teacher, I brought my visual aid, that at that point I needed allies, and when I told my students, they passed around on their own, and I kept this. What it says is, please keep the secret in our class and don't tell other kids in school because they might make fun of her. Please sign it if you agree. Thank you. P.S. Only your family can know. Of course, 10 minutes later, out on the yard, all the students in the entire school knew. So fast forward to 2011, and now I can really focus my energy on being an ally more than per se as a lesbian teacher. It's truly a privilege and honor to work with the GSA at Aptos Junior High. And this year, my friends who've known that I've been nominated now for this award 3 times, this was the 3rd time, they said, this year, you're really gonna win it. I said, how come? And they said, because of those bracelets. And so I wanted to point over to the table over there. The group of people sitting right over there have sold 1,000 of these rainbow bracelets. And on them they say, I am an ally, stop bullying. And we also have stickers, so everyone at our school who bought a bracelet, they also had to sign a pledge that was written by Kate Garrett that says, "Stand up against bullying to protect people of all backgrounds and pledge to respect myself and others. Stop." And so they're all over the county, and we even got some orders from Iowa, so I'm extremely proud of that. But I wanted to end this speech by saying, first of all, thank you to my family, to Rafi and Shoei and Joel and Glenn. We are a non-traditional, traditional family. And also to my principal, because my ally at my site is Brian Saxton, and every single thing that I do on that site that has anything to do with queer issues, he backs me up on it, he supports me, and actually has helped push our group along further. So allies need allies, need allies, need allies. So thank you very much.
So one more time, I'm going to ask to raise the lights and to ask you all to shake your hands out, because I'm sure they're tired from all the clapping and excitement. And if you guys are familiar with sign language, you can also clap like this. All right. Now it is time to announce the second Ally to Queer Youth Award. Isaac Martinez. Is a Lakeview Middle School student and an avid advocate, in his LGBTQ peers. Isaac is an excellent example of an ally and becoming a role model for his peers, as he constantly stands up for what he believes in, regardless of what others say. Now, let's watch his video.
My name is Isaac Martinez, and I go to Lakeview Middle School, and I'm in 7th grade. I extremely love to participate in school and clubs. I am actually vice president for the anti-bullying club. The way that I started the anti-bullying club was because I was in the school site council, and I brought up the idea for the anti-bullying club, and since we didn't have that, they decided to actually start it. What inspired me was that when I was in 6th grade, I was actually being bullied by the person that sat next to me. We came up with the bully box and bully slips. So if someone is being bullied, all they have to do is they fill out the slip, the name, where it is, what time, when, where, and what's the problem. And then it has a little option. Do you want to talk to an officer of the club or an adult? And every single Friday, me and the president himself, we just open the box. We just take one look at the sheet, and then we give it to Ms. Burnham herself, and then if there's a problem, she will call them up. As a matter of fact, when I was being bullied, after I became a member of it, that person just stopped bullying me, and then there's some other problems coming up, and we've been solving most of them. Yeah. The way I define leadership is by someone or something that has courage or honor and is responsible. Being an ally, to me it means supporting someone, following them and helping them along their path. And that one saying, what goes around comes around. If you help someone, someone might even help you. I would tell the people in middle school, if they're having problems coming out or problems being bullied, I would say try to talk to an adult or an officer, and then once you start, then you might be more confident and finish. I would say the relationship between the theme people are people and leadership, I would say that just being yourselves, people, and having courage, honor, and responsibility. People are people.
help me welcome Isaac to the stage.
Hello. Well, I only have one thing to say, and I would like to thank anybody that was ever participating in making this possible. Thank you.
It is now time for our second performance. Are you guys excited? Yeah? The UCSC Slam Poetry team is fresh off their trip from Nationals and are joining us tonight to stand for solidarity with our queer youth and leadership allies. Using poetry as a vehicle to change and an art as a voice from the heart, the UCSC team is a powerhouse of sound and possibility. Please help me welcome them to the stage.
To the boys who chose suicide last September. You love like eraser marks and decapitated daisy stems stuffed in your jean pockets. I wasn't ready to come out to my parents. It was more of a fallout than anything else, and so when I tripped over my own feet as I crossed the threshold, you said to close the door behind me and double check to make sure that it's locked before I leave. You weren't made to be kept in the dark. I imagine you breathtaking. Like everything magnificent about what a sandcastle should be, the way Atlantis was patient when it sunk to the bottom of your stomach, the way your hands configured like two starfish pressing wet sand into the mold of a wall that started from your heels to the center of your forehead. I see you nervous, you worried, you trying to be brick or cement or anything that'll make them say you are hard, like a rock, like a fist, like a man. I know what you do in the dark. Watch you swallow thumbtacks as holy water and eat wooden swastikas as communion. You've come to look like a Vietnam vet with PTSD, what? With all those medals decorating your skin, cut vigorously into the beds of your forearms and heart of your thighs. You are a straight boy's nightmare and a homophobic person's next victim. I can hear you praying from the other side of the door. Hear the key scratching at the keyhole. The God that you pray to doesn't understand why you're so anxious to have answers right now. Why you can't wait like the rest of us. I heard a loud boom coming from the sky 8 months ago. I counted 8 times. See, it hit me from behind 8 times, but you know, it wasn't that loud. It sounded like the striking of a match on a dead tree branch. I heard a snapping noise, like when someone takes a bite out of a big carrot. More like that. More like the brittle bones of dead leaves screaming on your feet when you step. I am positive that I saw a rope and I saw you, because nobody is born with hands that know the makings of a noose. So who taught you how? They say you were 13, 15, that you were only 19, all of you with hands that had minds of their own, that knew the makings of a noose better than you knew the reasons of why you were making them in the first place. Wrap rope around rope, wrap neck around loop, and so it snaps like a carrot, and it booms like a gun, and it falls off a bridge, and there were 11 of you, and not 6, and those are just the ones I heard Ellen talk about, and the ones I read about the week later, and there was an edge right there out in front of you, because deep down inside inside of us, there's a difference between falling because we push ourselves and falling because somebody pushed us. There are reasons. All young like me, all queer like me, all boys because knowing this does make a difference, all bullied because knowing this does make a difference. We don't think we have the power to kill until we are forced to live with what we've done to the boys that I knew too late. Forgive us for our silence. We just have a problem with loving anything properly, loving anything on time, learning to love anything like the ocean, as if the universe will stand to its feet and applaud us the moment that we actually get it right.
This is the necessity of a gym membership in 11 parts. 1, my ex-girlfriend and I were each other's very first girlfriends, and our kisses were doing their best to pretend we weren't soft. 2, when men kiss, you can feel the force of their bodies behind them. You have to avoid their stubble, their sharpness. 3, when I was 15, one time my cramps were so bad I threw up 6 times before I passed out on the bathroom floor because I couldn't reach the ibuprofen on the counter. 4, 2 months earlier, my class took a field trip to the Museum of Tolerance. At the beginning of the tour, they give you a card of a victim of the German Holocaust. My little girl died in the camps of hypothermia and malnutrition. 6, on my 11th birthday, I got the vest that all the cool girls from the catalog were wearing. I put it on and imagined I was a knight in shining armor and rescued my brother from the dragon. 7, the first car I remember my parents owning was a yellow Volkswagen Bug. It must have broken down every 2 weeks. My father and I would work on it together, so I never imagined I would grow up to be a woman. 8, women will probably never replace oil stains for mascara. 9, at 19, I knew how to hold my liquor, how to take care of my friends at parties, to give, expecting nothing back, and how to laugh when they called that a weakness. 10, I always wondered if General Patton was frightened of his mother when she shouted his full name. The most hardened men of legend refer to both the earth and sea as mother. 11, every now and then, I make the mistake of getting smitten, and some man comes along to remind me that I am small and fragile.
You tell me, if a black body swings from a tree and no one is around to witness, does it make a sound? In this world, we are taught to only trust the skin that looks like our own, weathered and cracked. I know I'm the most comfortable around my own people. The kaleidoscope skins we are left with, our shadows sing Negro spirituals to the ground when we walk to remember how easily our blood can fall through the cracked roots. We are still swinging. So let me teach you something about the wind. It is new and unforgiving. The first thing that man said to me was, "Is you a bitch or a nigger?" But nigger is not my preferred gender pronoun, so when he spoke, it was wet with middle passage. I know broken is how we form English into skin, so when he spoke, it was hollow, heavy like swollen shit bellies. I know cracked is our names. We are called nothing but own, so when he spoke, I felt the lynch mob hiding underneath his tongue, and I was silent. Careful not to auction off my body too freely. Being trans is knowing how to break yourself into secret revolts. It's railroading your skin underground for freedom. Passing is more than just words and slave stories, and somewhere I heard bones rattling like chains around my neck. I've learned all the ways to cover up the blood, but never how to cover up the wounds. I've learned all the ways to cover up my body, but never how to cover up this skin. Willie Lynch said it best. The way to control your black slaves for at least 300 years, pit us against each other. So in a world where rape is an acceptable war tactic, don't tell me that hands cannot be ropes. Don't tell me that a dick cannot be a noose. I still cannot tell who I'm at war with. They pit us against each other. So when another black man rapes you in an Oakland public restroom, you pray there are no witnesses. You try not to make a sound because being black in America is trusting your rapist more than you trust the police. Being black in America is letting him go so you don't have to see another brown body put in chains and cages like it's something we earned. It's knowing you would do it again. It's knowing that there's something bigger. Abolition isn't over until everyone is free. So tell me, how much would you take to fight slavery? Nobody is born broken. We are just cracked from the things we cannot control. His fingers still feel like whips my muscle memory cannot forget. Being black in America and being transgendered in America has taught me to be like the wind, unforgiving, but silent.
Osmosis. 1. Gases and liquids are always seeking spaces to expend their internal pressure. This process of movement from one space to the next is called osmosis. 2. Art cannot exist in a vacuum. It contains its own pressure. A blank canvas, it begs to be filled, doesn't it? I mean, we cannot help but make this space as beautiful as we can with all that we have inside of us. 3, we all matter. We just want to matter to someone else. 4, you cannot hear the wind. You can only hear the resonance of other things it comes in contact with. Similarly, to all the people who have thrown themselves off bridges, they never died because of the fall. It was the impact. 5. So boy, believe me when I say that I fell for you. I mean I landed, smack impact against lips. 6, love is not a feeling that you keep inside of yourself, it's an action that you give. 7, one night in Michigan, we exchanged breath and all of the parts of ourselves that mattered most. The process, it's called osmosis.
Can you hear me? Oh, okay. Thank you very much for sharing your talents with us. Another round of applause. Another thank you. Angela, thank you for the baskets. They're lovely. So a round of applause for her. I'm proud to introduce the nominees to this year's Organizational Ally Queer Youth Award. We have already seen that there's a lot of amazing individuals who are doing great work in their communities. Also, some of them are sitting next to you. Just as important are the organizations that support those individuals. This nomination recognizes the organizations that are making an impact on lives and queer youth in our communities. The nominees this year's Organizational Ally Award are truly inspiring and have touched many lives, including my own, and including in many of us tonight. So let's see who they are. Our first Organizational Ally Queer Award is our very own San Lorenzo Valley High School's GSA. An often overlooked part of the county, my GSA has begun to flourish in the hands of its deeply dedicated and motivated members. In a matter of months, the GSA had gone from 3 members to over 25. Tackling campus-wide campaigns to end bullying, including selling of the rainbow bracelets and signing End Bully pledge cards on campus, as well as the community. organizing speakers in the rallies to talk, and co-sponsoring campus-wide events, and also now co-sponsoring the 14th Annual Queer Youth Leadership Award. Our second organizational ally to Queer Youth nominee is Aptos Junior High School's GSA, also known in the community as one of the most vibrant and active GSAs. Aptos Junior High has continuously set the bar high for other schools. Undertaken by the loving supervision of Leslie Smith, these young students have taken their energy and transformed their campus into and county into a safe and affirming, affirming place for all. They have created an anti-bullying pledge that has now been used over in 8 county-wide schools, and has sold over 1,000 rainbow bracelets in donating all proceeds to the Trevor Project. Our third organizational ally Queer Youth nominee is UC Santa Cruz Masters of Arts Education and Teacher Credentials program. Each student that participates in the University of California Masters of Education program has the opportunity to experience the valuable insight and needs of queer youth. Through cooperation with Santa Cruz County Safe Schools Project, the program provides a pre-service training for all teachers and who are going through both an elementary and secondary education credentials program. In addition, the department hosts LGBTQ panel of local school staff, students, parents, and community members to present LGBTQ issues in schools and the needs for teachers to be more sensitive to these issues. Our fourth organizational ally to Queer Youth nominees is the Pajaro Valley High School GSA. This GSA is a phenomenal example of the tenacity, resilience, and strength and vision. Each of the dedicated students helps make the club more visible, and the campus is more inclusive. By sending its members to major statewide queer youth conferences such as Western Regional Queer Youth Conference, the YES Conference, and Santa Cruz's own Safe Empowerment Extraordinary Youth Conference, the students began to transform themselves inside and out. Using their club as a vehicle to change, the students have worked very closely with Pajaro Valley's high school principal, Pancho Rodriguez, an advocate for LGBTQ students at school rallies, as well as signing anti-bullying petitions. Thank you to all of our organizations. Thank you for all of your hard work and dedication. I love you guys. I would now like to announce this year's Organizational Ally Queer Youth Awardee, the Santa Cruz Public Library's Central Branch. In demonstrating its dedication and empowerment of young people and queer youth, a proportion of the adult youth section is dedicated to information regarding community services, safety, and queer literature, among many other valuable sources of information vital to health for all queer youth. Vital to health of all young adults such as date rape, drug abuse, alcohol, depression. The library offers queer youth the opportunity to explore themselves in safe and positive environments, something that is essential in cultivating confidence, intelligence, and empowerment of young people. By having a visible public organization like the library recognize, welcome, and celebrate queer youth, It is sending a powerful message to the larger community. The Santa Cruz Public Libraries have chosen to stand in solidarity to all its young members by providing them an uncensored access to the information they're needed to grow and critically think. And I'm also in their book club. Thank you. Please join us in congratulating and honoring Santa Cruz County's Public Library.
I'm Teresa Landers, I'm the library director, and on behalf of all the staff at the library, and we've got 3 of our wonderful staff members here, we really want to thank you all. We don't know who nominated us, so whoever you are, thank you. And we've heard a lot of stories tonight from individuals and what it all means to them, and I'd like to tell you a story that Emily and Janice shared with me as we were talking tonight, to really give you an idea of what this collection and what our services mean to this community. There was a student who came in and asked for help with a book on some topic, nothing to do with queer issues, just a regular reference question. And on the way back from finding the book, they passed the honor book collection, which has a lot of information about all kinds of issues that are of interest to young people. And they're books that they can take with them. They don't have to check them out so that nobody knows what they're taking, and they bring them back on the honor system. There's also a table with a lot of issues for LGBT issues and a lot of books and materials. And they passed by both of these collections, and this individual just stopped and went, "Oh, wow, we don't have this at home." Now, we don't know where he was from, but obviously wasn't from here. And a day or two later, they saw him come back with a friend and said, "You've got to see this collection. This is incredible." And that is just so important to us when we hear that kind of a story. And it just really tells us that we're really reaching the community, all parts of the community, which really is our vision and our purpose. We really do want to transform lives and strengthen communities. And I think that we're able to do this through this kind of collection, the services we provide. And we just really hope we can live up to that paragraph in your programs tonight, because whoever wrote that, it's incredible and makes us feel so proud, and we just hope we can live up to it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello. Oh, okay. Thank you very much, ladies. Well, everyone, I'm afraid that this is the end of this year's show, and I'm hoping you all had a really good time, yeah? Now, before I know you all are going to start dancing, because I know you're going to stick around for the dance, right? Yeah? Yeah? I'd like to thank you all for coming to San Lorenzo Valley to honor Santa Cruz County's queer youth leaders and allies. Not all of them were recognized tonight, but we all see you here tonight. So thank you. Round of applause for you guys. We would also like to thank a few people who made tonight possible and a big success. Rebecca Stark Photography, I don't know where she is, but she's probably taking photos of you. Yeah. Village Caterers, who gave us the lovely food tonight. Val Vanderland, who does the dessert, which I'm sure you're all looking at. And Community TV of Santa Cruz County, who's pretty much everywhere in the room. So thank them. We want to thank you all, volunteers, and our co-sponsors who have helped make tonight very, very amazing. Most of all, we want to thank you. We are very glad that you came out tonight to join us this evening and helped us celebrate the wonderful individuals and organizations who are making things happen and making a difference. Thank you again, and we hope you enjoyed tonight. Now let's go dance.